Right, hiya, welcome back. Okay, thank you first of all for your amazing messages in the last video. I really appreciate that. It's great to be back on the build, it truly is, and I think you appreciate that too. So let's get on with the next bit. Now the last one, as you saw, I did the bridge across there, the top main bridge across the back half of the frame that holds the tank. So that's the tank mount dealt with. That's the first consideration I had to do. It's on there, it's square, it fits and stands to the original specification, and actually looks a bit nicer as well. So all solid and heavy duty, and that won't break, won't twist, and that will strongly support the rest of the tail, because this is going to be self-supporting box section, if you like. No internal frame or anything. Monocoque is the proper name, I think, and basically it will just bolt on with 4 bolts, and the metal structure itself will be self-supporting. Now I want to make it quite nice to look at, but it's fundamentally internally inside it's got to be really strong, and it's got to have a space for the battery and the electrics and everything else that live in there, fuses and all that sort of thing, because there's nowhere else on the bike for them. And in that case, the next step with this is to build another bridge across these 2 lower mounts, coming up, following the frame, so that if I can follow the frame line with it, then that makes it invisible. There's no extra lines in there. There's a frame line that comes up here on both sides, so I can come up off that, come in here, come across this. There's a little platform just there, super strong platform that's bolted to the top of the shock absorber mount and to the main spar that goes right across the frame. So that's a really good point to rest the battery on. So I need a little bar that goes across there, up, across and down. It's a very simple little bridge to build today. Once that bridge is in place and I've got the 2 of them, then I can put an internal piece that will weld them together, so that straighten them, line them both up, weld them together so they're one piece. Then I've got the main frontal frame for the whole tail, and then I can start welding the sheet metal on the back, which will actually support itself. But it won't support itself unless it's got good foundations that bolt to the main frame of the bike itself. So, let's shut talking and let's get on with it. Welcome back. Alright, story so far. There's the bottom bridge now done. It's a weird compound of every single piece is a different angle on every axis. The only two axes that are straight is these two outside mounts, which are obviously parallel. But then as it goes up, this goes up steeper than that, because this pad that I've had to land on there is off center. It's to the left, the shock is to the left. Some bikes do that. So this is steeper than that one, and then the angle you go in at is a steeper angle at the front and a shallower angle, or this side a shallower angle that side. Loads of fun, and I welded it as hot as possible on full power, burning it till it was glowing yellow all the way through, so I can grind all the welds off, but it's still one piece of metal. I've literally fused it, rather than just put a weld on it. It's absolutely bonded. It's not really a strength piece that way, but it's nice to have it that strong. So there we are. So now I've got the bottom bridge and the top bridge done. That's given me cross pieces to launch off, and that curvature there is nice and handy. I'll be able to pick that up in a curve coming back as an under tray, perhaps with the number plate underneath, I don't know, something like that. But it'll also give me that height there to put battery and electrics. I'm using a lithium battery, which is a lot smaller, so that will go in, the electrics will all go in neatly. Got to unwrap all the wiring and then recoil it and then rewrap it, so all that's to come. But for now, I think the next thing finally is to join these two together so that they are one piece that bolts on with 4 bolts. That's one forward frame. I wanted this to have no subframe, no internal subframe upon which I clip a plastic tail unit. Don't want that. It is going to be one piece, but the front of it needs to have real strength. So we've got angle iron, this compound thingy bridged, and this is just flat stock, 4mm thick flat stocks. It's proper thick steel. So the front of it that bolts onto the bike is really beef, and then the rest of it has got a good foundation. Anyway, that's too much chat. Let's weld these two together somehow. Keep thinking. More metal. There we are. A proper foundation for the tail unit there. Absolutely chuffed with that. It's a mixture of flat stock and angle iron and this composite press stuff. Super thick, super strong. I said you could hook a hook around that. and winch it up with a crane. That is so strong and so beef, and that's exactly what I need. It forms the foundation, the footing for the tail unit that's going to go on the back. It won't be big, like I said. I want to stop it before the centre of the tyre, so it's only going to be maybe a foot long at the most. I've got a few ideas of how I'm going to do the shape of it, but for the core centre, it's going to be 3mm thick box section steel. I'm going to use that because that's where the battery and electrics will go. It'll give me nice straight thick sides, and that will give ultimate strength. That's what it's all about. I want this tail unit to be so strong it's absolutely unmovable. And then around the outside of it, I can use possibly another fuel tank, maybe a Mustang tank. If you imagine the sides of a Mustang tank used on the side to give a nice rounded feature, the same as the rest of the bike. You know, thinking ahead already, but basically the foundations are laid. So I'm going to call that done for there. It is 10 to 4, I'm back to work at 4:30, so again another split shift, another effective use of time. So I hope you liked that, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Take it easy, ride safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for some fun and games and another tool test.